Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. You know, I'm gonna try to keep this as I'm trying not to be so negative in this review. I really am. I don't even know what to feel like in this episode. Like just watching it, you know what? Olivia, you know what? Olivia was. I was just gonna say. Here's the thing. Olivia started to irk me, like she did yesterday, and I started to get annoyed. But as I'm watching this episode, I got so mad, so bored, and was just so over it that for a good second, I completely forgot how annoying Olivia was in this episode. It's like most of the rest of the episode just kind of overshadowed that, and I'm in awe of that. Olivia was pretty much acting bitchy like she was yesterday, which was like annoying. And so today, I was really over it. And honestly, to tell you the truth, I just kept looking at my phone because it was the same crap from yesterday. You know, she was all annoyed at Austin because, apparently she thinks that Austin's not there saying that her son isn't perfect, and it's literally just the same crap from yesterday. And honestly, to tell you the truth, I don't even want to really get too much into it because, one, I'm going to be way too negative and probably going to use a lot of four-letter words that I'm really trying not to use. And two, it pretty much wasn't any much that different than it was yesterday. Nothing changed. The same attitude she had yesterday was the exact same crap that she had today, with Ned sitting there looking like he's stepping on eggshells when he's sitting there trying to, at the very least, hear Austin out. So, I'm not gonna lie, I'm just wondering how many more days are we gonna have to sit there and listen to Olivia being super defensive and just really annoying about it. You know? Just really annoying about it. She's so defensive up to the point where it's like, sweetheart, this isn't about you. This is about your son. Maybe if you could sit there and set that aside for like 5 minutes, you might learn something. But unfortunately, we're probably going to have to sit there and be tortured more through that. So, yeah. Gladys acts like the usual dingbat, so there's pretty much no surprise there. You know what? Honestly, to tell you the truth, I wasn't even mad at Gladys. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm annoyed at her, but I said this before a couple of ways back in one of my reviews that I feel like Gladys' intentions, they created that character so she could be annoying. Literally. It's almost like making a character and then having them do everything in their power to make sure that they don't make the right choice. I mean, not only that, but she's incredibly selfish, and she is like the definition of a terrible mother. You know? She's the type of character that gets under your skin. And that's the point of her character. So, I wasn't really too much annoyed with Gladys today, because I was like, nah, sweetheart, I know your game. And in this episode, she literally tries to get Brando to work for the Novaks, to work for the mob. Brando's like, did you forget about Cyrus? Because you still have a bullet wound to sit there, just, a little reminder. It's almost as though that just went completely over her head, and she's like, oh, well, it was better than stripping. That was her takeaway. That was her takeaway. I am. That was her takeaway. Okay, so yeah, it's the usual Gladys crap. Michael and Willow talked, and to be honest, I really just didn't care. At all. At all. They didn't talk about anything important, and the stuff that they did talk about was, honestly, tell you the truth, you know what, let's just get to this stupid wedding part. I'm sorry, before I even really get into that, did anyone actually enjoy this wedding? Because I know I'm being, well, I'm raining on people's parade that actually enjoyed this wedding, and listen, here's the thing. If you enjoyed this wedding, you are for Carly and Jason, do not let my comments and my opinions change that, because, you know, that's just how I feel. So if you really love that stuff, that's great. I am super happy that you know, you enjoyed this episode, and if you're a fan of those two being together, then you enjoyed those two. You know, when I got to the part that Vows and Jocelyn was not there, reciting her poetry. 26 minutes into this, when they start their wedding, I just clocked out. Am I clocked out? I mean, like, I literally just started laying in my bed watching it, because, like, I felt like I was getting so annoyed with, like, the Jason and Carly stuff, like, all the wedding and stuff like that, that I was just getting frustrated. So at that point, I was like, you know what, screw it, I'm just gonna lay down. Because I felt like I was about to throw something if I just sat up. You know, when Epiphany got to the wedding and she was sitting there, you know, congratulating Jason, and Snither saying Jason has always been good for her and always been, you know, always been there for her and always had her son's back. And, I'm gonna go way back. Remember when, I think his name was Stan. He got killed by some assassin or, Manny or somebody. Somebody was trying to kill Jason. And they killed, Stan instead. And Epiphany was devastated. Devastated. Stan worked for Sonny's organization. Worked for Jason. Was his tech guy. Isn't it there telling me that years later, she's going to be sitting there congratulating Jason and being like, he's always had my back. He's always had my son's back. Really? Really? Because I can remember that episode like it was yesterday. I can literally remember Stan, pretty sure that was his name, getting killed while working for Sonny and Jason. But you're going to sit there and go to this man's wedding, congratulate him, and talk about all the great things that he done for you. Okay, well, you know what, I mean, that's just, I'm trying not to curse, that's just dumb. You can insert the curse word that I'll be using right now, but that's just dumb. But, yep, here we are. Here we are. So Jocelyn says her poetry. I guess Jason and Carly said their vows. I'm gonna be honest, at that point, I was losing it. And I'll just fast forward through it. I literally... I felt like it was like a chore. Sitting there watching this part of this episode. I said this yesterday, and I know I sound like a broken record, but I don't think I've ever actually hated a storyline more in my entire life than this. And this goes for any show. Not just this. Any show that I've ever watched, I don't think I've hated a certain storyline as much as this. So, yeah. You got Diane there. You got the Novaks that's they're literally plotting at his wedding. Like, no one's going to sit there and just accidentally overhear them sit there talking about, oh, yeah, yeah, so we're going to sit there and, we're gonna take care of these people tonight. We're going to get them, like, really? You tell me a bunch of mobsters that's kind of huddled up is just, what, planning something good? Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Let's just all huddle up together and talk about how they plan on, taking somebody out at their wedding. Less than 10 feet away. Okay. So Sonny is trapped, and the firemen can't get to him. They just can't. It's blocked off. They just can't get to him. Meanwhile, you got Nina outside. She's all crying and all upset, and there was one part where she seemed like she couldn't decide if she wanted to call Mike or Sonny. And even Phyllis was like, even right now, you don't even know what name to call this guy. Because right to the bitter end, Nina is still somewhat in this delusion. Which is amazing because you meant him as Sonny first, and now it's almost like you can barely remember his name. Okay, Nina, you know what? You're too far gone, so that's fine. Meanwhile, you got Jax pretty much just kind of hammering in, like, listen, if he dies, this is on you. Oh, what? You got Peter too? And you didn't sit there and tell anyone for how long to keep your little secret? He's just piling it on. And Nina's like, well, you keep sitting there blaming me and telling me I told you so isn't really helping. I was like, no, it's not, but it's very entertaining though. So Jax proceed to keep piling it on. Normally, I would sit there and agree, but for you, Nina, you deserve all this. So, and Phyllis is like, listen, we're gonna talk about this another time. Right now we gotta sit there and deal with Mike, or because I guess she's still calling him Mike or whatever. I really want to fast forward to the day when Phyllis really comes heavy with the smoke on Nina for months of lying to her face. I can't wait. And what's amazing about this whole thing? Is that the Tano being burnt down, all this stuff, in a lot of ways, is Nina's fault. You didn't even come clean about Peter. And yeah, I know she's going to sit there and use stuff. Oh, you're going after James, but come on. That's just another lie that you practically told right to Phyllis' face. And now what does she have left? She has practically a burnt down bar because of your BS. Oh, Nina. You know what I'm picturing in my head? This is a show that I didn't watch. This is a show where there's a part in it that apparently is extremely controversial. Now, granted, I wouldn't want even Nina to go through this. And this is what I'm talking about is Games of Thrones. There's one part where I guess this woman is like walking butt naked pretty much through like this town square and everyone's like throwing stuff on her. Now, granted, I'm not going to sit there and say I want her to get stoned to death or anything like that. But I can just imagine her just going through Port Charles and just having every person that she's lied to, all the family, Sonny's family and Ava, just everyone just kind of lined up and just having Nina just kind of just walk through them. And just them all like, I don't know, throwing like tomatoes at her or something like that. That would be an amazing scene. I wouldn't want that woman naked, personally, but that would be a great scene. Now, while Sonny's on the ground, he gets a visit from Mike. So, he gets a visit from his father. I said Mike, and I'm just so used to calling Sonny at this point Mike now, so that's just amazing. But yeah, he gets a visit from his father, and long story short, he pretty much kind of convinces Sonny to, you can't move forward until you know more about your past, and they go through this whole. I don't know how to describe it, but it's like a way of him sitting there trying to get him to remember. And of course the problem is, Sonny's all like, I don't even remember, and he's still doing that, rejecting his past part crap. Which, not gonna lie, I kept rolling my eyes. But when he did start to remember, I was laying down. He did start to remember. I'm sitting there like writing my notes or whatever, and I'm getting up, and for a good minute I was like, I almost actually forgot about this stupid wedding. This is actually getting kind of exciting. Like, he starts remembering Carly's face. He remembers some other stuff about his past, as far as his son, his grave and everything like that. Like the love he shared for the woman in white, So that part was great. That part was great. Sonny get back his memory. That part was great. And I think, Sonny's father, practically says, like, listen, you can either die Mike, or, you can choose to remember your past or whatever. And I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, oh, okay, so if he chooses not to remember his past, he's just going to be dead? You know what, at this point, I don't even care. But yeah, and I think that scene pretty much kind of ends there. And, the beam of light, and Sonny's father leave. And, yeah. Now, Jax did make a call to Maxie at this point. Of course, Maxie doesn't pick up the phone because, they're doing their vows and everything like that. Now, I'm just sitting there hoping, Jax, I hope you left a voicemail. I really, really hope you left a voicemail. And as I'm sitting there laying down watching this, being bored, being annoyed, I kept sitting there thinking, you know what? It's going to start to get interesting. It's going to start to get really, really interesting. It's going to start to get good. And I can't wait for it. I think it was the Jason and Carly wedding part that that part was like a chore just to sit there and watch. Oh yeah, and Cameron was there too. It was like a chore to sit there and watch. It was like an agonizing chore for me personally to watch. But everyone else loved it. That's great. Oh yeah, and Trina was there too with Cam. I think I said that, but oh yeah, and Bobby was there too. So yeah, I'm pretty sure I probably missed somebody at this wedding, but to be honest, I really didn't enjoy that part at all. And I'm just going to sit there and say that. But besides the wedding stuff, the Nixon Fall stuff was great. And it's weird since they're saying it's great because I really can't wait for that to be over. But for this part, this episode was really great. Pretty sure I'm missing something, but I can't think of what it is. With that being said, I'm going to go. I want to thank everyone for watching. Be safe. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. See you in the next video.